Hello, Stitchy friends. How is everyone doing? Today is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. My name is Andrew. This is my dog Winston, and you are here at The Runner Stitcher. This is my channel where I talk mostly about my cross-stitch journey, a little bit about running as well, although that has been a little less lately. Not the running, but just the talking about it. So yeah, I hope you enjoy what you see here and will stick around to see more. If you're a new subscriber or someone new checking out the channel, welcome. You are very welcome here, and I hope you enjoy this journey that we're on. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend with me and Winston today. We have a lot to share with you. I've got a pile of whips over here and just a lot of fun things to share today. So we'll see how this goes. But it feels like it could maybe be a longer one. I think here in Florida, we are finally coming out of the cold spell. The last couple of mornings, it's still been below freezing here when I go to run in the morning. However, today it was at 41, which felt a lot warmer. Still chilly, but warmer. So I think we are now out of that cold spell. The next week or so looks like we'll be in the 60s or 70s for the highs and 40s and 50s for the lows. So Winston and I are both very grateful for that, and I hope the same turns around for all of you who are experiencing the really cold weather and whose snow still has not melted. I was talking to some friends back in New York, and they were saying it's been so cold there, like single digits this past weekend, and most of the snow is still around. It hasn't melted because it just hasn't gotten warm enough. So I hope that we're kind of over the hump of this winter, maybe, and we can start thinking towards spring. I know that's a ways off still, but that's where my mind is. My mind is in spring. Anyway, I hope you all are doing well and have had a really good week this week. It's been a fairly decent week for me. Typical ups and downs of job hunting and getting the rejection letters and all of that. But, overall, I'm trying my best to stay positive and just continue believing that something is out there. And I've just been really diving into the things that have been bringing me joy. And part of that is coming to you with these Flosstube episodes. I really just enjoy sharing this hobby with you and getting to connect and build this community. I feel so grateful to have my Patreon members that have been lifting me up, and it's just all been wonderful. So just trying to focus on the joy. That's where I am at this week. I did want to say a quick thank you to both Robin and Barbara who took advantage of the Buy Me Coffee link below. Thank you both so much. I really appreciate that kind gesture, and I likely will use some of that to go towards maybe some Nashville finds. There's great patterns coming out every single day as we gear up to Nashville here in March, and there's just a lot of goodies, a lot of great designs, and I'm sure there'll be something else that catches my eye. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Okay, the first thing I want to share with you is something a little different that we don't have on this channel very often, and that is an FFO. Can you believe I actually have an FFO? I don't remember the last time I did. I mean, I know I had the Christmas ornament over Flossmas, but before that, I don't remember the last time I shared an actual FFO. So it's a long time coming. And I'd mentioned this when I finished it, that I wanted to get it framed. Yesterday, my mom and I went out to Michael's, and actually not yesterday, on Sunday, we went out to Michael's and my mom was getting one of her snowman pieces framed, and I was getting the Bee Queen framed. So we found a frame that I really liked, and they were able to do the framing there. They got it back to me the very next day, and I'm actually really happy with the job that they did. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the framed piece of the Bee Queen. And here she is. This is her in the frame. What do you think? So I went with a frame that pulls out some of the darker and the lighter browns in there, but it also has almost a shinier finish to it, so that when the light hits it, it almost brings out the yellows and the whites more in the Bee Queen. And I think it just looks wonderful. Sorry about the glare. Hopefully it's not too bad for you, but they did such a great job. I think they pinned this on a foam core and then stuck it in here, and they just did a really great job. I think everything looks centered. I'm really happy with how smooth the Ada got in the finishing. There's no wrinkles or anything like that, and it just looks lovely. So I can't believe she's done and she's fully finished, but here she is. I hope you enjoy seeing her in this frame. And some of you might be wondering, how in the world are you going to get that back to New York now that you framed it down here in Florida? And my dad was asking me the same question last night when he saw this. But the thing I didn't say yet is that this is actually going to be a gift for my mom. So Mom, if you're watching, which I'm sure you probably are, this is now yours. I am passing this on to you, and you get to keep this in your house. My mom has loved watching me stitch this since I started it, and I worked on it a lot of the last spring when I was down here, and she just really enjoyed the colors, really enjoyed the piece, and just kept commenting on it. So I figured, why not pass this on to her? And so we went out together. We both decided on this frame that we really liked, and that's what we went with. So here again is Bee Queen from Tidy Modernist, and that's the frame. So I hope you like it, Mom. You were there to pick it out, but this is now yours. And I just had so much fun stitching this. One last time, this is on a 16 count Oyster Aida. That is the called for cloth, but not the called for count. I think they stitched it on a 40 count. And I used all the DMC colors that were called for in the chart. So this will be very exciting. And we were talking about it, and maybe while I'm filming my videos, maybe I'll have to put it up there so you can see it while I'm down here in Florida. But we'll see. We'll see where my mom wants to put it in the house. But that is my FFO. All right, now let's get into stitching. I've got a number of whips for you, so let's just get started right away. The first piece I worked on was 1838 Elizabeth Masterton. Here is what this looks like. This picture is so small on this page. This is the only picture of the full sort of chart, or the full finished piece, but that's what it's going to look like. And I do have a video of where I was when I started the week, so I'll put that in here. Okay, here's my starting point for Elizabeth Masterton, and I probably will start working on this flower and bringing it down further. You can probably see here I started that one, but I haven't brought it down here. I could also probably continue working on the border this way, although I think this might be the end of the first page, so I likely will work on this section, but you will see it now. I pulled this out as one of the projects that my Patreon members voted for in the month of February. So they voted to put in 110 stitches on this piece, and I actually put in 149. So I went a little bit above and beyond. I think I was just working on it one evening and sort of kept going with it. But here is where I got to. So you'll see in the video where it was, and here's where I am now. I think what I did was I definitely brought down some of these leaves here, and then I used that thread that was left over and sort of started that motif down below. I didn't work on the border at all. I didn't work on the four-sided crosses at all, but I definitely worked on this flower right here in the center. And I have to say, I just really enjoyed this. So I'm stitching this on a 40 count paper bark by Fox and Rabbit, and I'm using all the called for Aversois silks. They are here in this package, all these silks, and I just really enjoy it. One strand of silk over the two threads on 40 count is just wonderful, and I really enjoy these colors, and I love how this is looking on this fabric. I think it's making it really come to life, and I've really enjoyed it. So after I pulled it out to stitch on for the Patreon members, I realized how much I was enjoying it, and I thought, you know what? This is going to be my whip into shape piece. Now, last week when I announced whip into shape, I know I kind of just threw it out there for you guys without really any leading up to it. And so a lot of people were surprised that it was starting already or fell behind already. And you'll notice in my video last week, I didn't even say what project I was going to work on because I didn't know yet. But now I'm excited to say that this will be my whip into shape. So this is what I'm going to start working on this week for the whip into shape piece. I took a picture of where I am right now so that we'll have that picture to kind of go off of for the rest of the challenge. And right now I'm going to be doing the miles number of stitches. So I think for the first two walks that are posted, we have 245 stitches to put in. So that's my goal for this week, to get those stitches in. And yeah, so if you are joining Whip into Shape, or if you saw it last week but thought you were already behind, you're not behind. Don't worry. I haven't even started my stitching yet. I hadn't even picked my project until this. So I'm really excited to give this some consistent love this year and to just really focus on a piece that I enjoy. So I think it will be great to see where this ends up in the next couple of months. Along with the Whip into Shape challenge, I will have linked below again the new YouTube account that will have the walking videos. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who went over there, subscribed, watched the videos, commented on those videos. I was just blown away. I think we are almost at 400 subscribers on that channel, and I am just so grateful. Honestly, it made me a little emotional that so many of you wanted to support me in that way. And I really appreciated hearing your comments on the videos. The goal of those walking videos is for it to be sort of a nice, just kind of background experience that you can have while you're stitching, and maybe see a different part of the country or a different part of the world that you have never been to, and you get a sort of glimpse into that, which is my world. And right now that's here in Florida. But again, those walking videos will shift to New York once I get back to the city, and I will be really excited to kind of share those walks in New York City with you. So anyway, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who went over there and subscribed. It really means the world to me, and I can't say thank you enough. I really was blown away. But I'm glad for those of you who did watch and who stitched along. I'm so glad you enjoyed them. I've got a number of walks recorded now, and I'm really excited to share them with you. So the next walk that I post, I'm going to post it by the end of this week. So that will be the third walk in the challenge, and I'm really excited for this one. I had a really fun time walking, and it starts out in a park that's close to my parents' house. So there's some trails, there's some wildlife, and then I walk over the main bridge into the main stretch of Flagler Beach, and we'll kind of get a glimpse of the beach again and some other fun things there. But there's one special surprise at the very end of the video that I can't wait for you to see. It was so fun for me to film, and I just can't wait for you to see that. So if you're checking out that video, definitely stay till the very end, and I'm sure you'll like the surprise. But that will be posted, the third walk will be posted on my other YouTube channel, which is called Andrew in Stride, and I'll link that down below. But that will be posted by the end of this week. So at the end of the week, we'll have 3 walks, and that will begin our Whip into Shape challenge. So we're already going to keep ramping it up. Now, over the weekend, I was able to record 2 other walks, and so those are ready to go and will probably be coming next week and the week after. So I'm just going to keep filming and keep posting. I don't have any set cadence of when they're going to be posted, but I will, of course, always let you know here on my Flosstube channel when I've posted a new one. And if you subscribe over there to the new channel, you will see it as well. For the Whip into Shape challenge, if you're new here, I kind of went over everything last week. So if you want to check out that Flosstube episode, I believe it's number 78. This is number 79, I think. That has all the details, but basically there's a spreadsheet linked below that will kind of show the walks that I've gone on, and then you can stitch for the time that I was walking, the miles that I walked, or the number of steps that I took. And there's stitch counts. Everything's broken down on the spreadsheet, so you can see kind of what you're supposed to be stitching. And there'll also be a link in that spreadsheet to the YouTube walking video. So if you want to stitch along with my walk, you can do that and kind of join me in that fun as well. But just really excited to get that going again, and I'm super excited now that I have a project picked and can go with that. The next piece I worked on was SAGA, and SAGA, of course, is my weekly piece that I keep bringing out. It's this beautiful piece by Long Dog Samplers of all these arches, and I will put a video in here where I was when I started the week. Here's my starting point for SAGA, and I'm going to be continuing down this arch. My goal for this week would be to bring this all the way down. We'll see how far I get though, if that will be 500 stitches or not, and you will see it now. And this week I was able to add in 600 stitches, and that puts me at 56.45%. So here is SAGA. That is what it looks like now. And this is stitched on a 36 count vintage country mocha. I'm using Silks for You PR207. And let's zoom in a little bit and see what I worked on this week. So basically what I did was I carried down this arch to the very bottom. And you'll see I got a little bit of that bottom section done right there at the base of the arch, but the main section was filling in all of this, and that was 600 stitches. So that means the arch is really ready to go, to start filling in. I do think I probably will bring the bottom across here just to make sure that everything lines up and is good with that. And then I will get into the arch. But that's really exciting because the fun part of this piece is always what's in the arches. And I'm really excited to get into the next scene. And that also means the next story coming probably in the next, 2 to 3 weeks or so. But yeah, happy to have the outline of that arch, basically done. And we'll just keep moving forward. So this has been such a lovely piece. Again, this was my leap day start for 2024. And so we are in February now. We are coming up on the 2-year mark, which means we are about 50% through that challenge that I put on myself. And as you heard in the statistics, I'm at 56%, so a little ahead of the game, but also on target to finish this gigantic piece of 100,000 stitches in 4 years, which I'm super, super excited about. So that is SAGA from Long Dog Samplers. The next group of stitches that I worked on were for my temperature stitching pieces. And if you are new here, I do temperature stitching where I have 3 categories, 3 whips, and each category is assigned a random number between 0 and 9. And whatever the temperature is for that day, I look at the second digit and I put 100 stitches into that project. So I usually look at the forecast for the week, so I know exactly where my 700 stitches are going for the week. And this past week, one of those projects was Stack of Pancakes. This is from SammyStitchesStore, and here's what that's going to look like. I will put a video in here where I was when I started the week.
Here's my starting point for Stack of Pancakes. I will be starting right here on this diagonal and hopefully bringing it down a little further. 100 stitches probably will not get me all the way to the bottom, but we'll get another chunk done here, and you will see it now.
And this one only got called for 1 day, so only 100 stitches. I did put in 130 stitches, so I went a little bit above and beyond, but that puts me at 97.91% on this piece. We're really getting close now, so I'll just show it to you. And you'll notice I don't have very many parked threads because there's not too many places to park them. But basically I worked on this diagonal here, and I think I got it all the way to the bottom, so that's why there's some parked threads over here. So what I have left is just a tiny little sliver of the diagonal here, and then there's also a little bit of a syrup drop right here. But yeah, that's the main section that I'll have to work on. I think this is looking really, really great. And today is Tuesday the 10th, so we've got 1 week until National Pancake Day. I was super excited to read how many of you are going to be joining in to have pancakes that day with me. I still don't know where or when or how I'm going to have them for dinner that night. We're still looking for maybe a restaurant to go to, or my dad's going to make his famous pancakes, which are delicious. But I'm so glad that some of you will be joining in for pancakes on that day as well. And I will be putting the final stitches in on this piece next Tuesday. So there's only about 200 stitches left in this, and we'll get to the temperature stitching chart of what it was called for, but yeah, this will be finished. The last stitches will go in next Tuesday before my video. So next week on National Pancake Day, you will see a finish on this piece, I promise. This is stitched on a 20 count black Aida. I'm using all the called for DMC, 2 strands over 1 Aida cloth. And yeah, we'll just zoom in again so you can see these delicious pancakes. I cannot wait to have these framed and hanging somewhere. The next piece that was called for temperature stitching was Treasury of Compassion. This is a piece from Teresa Kogut. Here is what this is going to look like. It's this beautiful prayer that I absolutely love stitching on, and it's just such a wonderful reminder to read those words, especially in today's climate. So it's a piece I keep going back to. This was called for 5 days of temperature stitching, so actually 500 stitches needed to go into this piece. And I will put a video in here where I was when I started the week.
All right, here's my starting point for Treasury of Compassion. I likely will still continue on some of these letters over here. Maybe I'll fill in this word, but I also think I will bring this down and try to match the side over here with the bird. So we'll see how far I get now.
And this week I actually put in 588 stitches, so I went a little above and beyond. I was really enjoying it that day and just kind of kept it out that evening. The fun thing about this is, so this is a paper pattern, obviously, and the chart is split up into 4 pages. So it's basically 4 quadrants of the page. I have scanned these or took a picture of these charts and put them into Markup RxP. So everything is in Markup RxP. It's not 100% correct, but it's close enough that I can use it. That's how I know my stitch count. But the fun thing from this week is that I have now finished the top quadrant, the top left quadrant right here. That is now done. The other three are in Markup RxP and I'm working through them. I think the other top half doesn't have much left. I think maybe just a word or two. And then I'll be working on the bottom section. But it felt really good to have that one chart showing as finished in markup. But enough talking. Here is where I'm at. So I will zoom in here a little bit. This is stitched on a 36 count, unknown fabric, unknown color, but I am using the called for Valdani threads. This is Autumn Harvest, I believe is what they're called, Golden Harvest. And I just love it. I really, really love it. So what did I do this time? Well, I worked on this section right here, and I did bring this bird down. I stitched this entire bird. Now, what my mom and I were debating when I was stitching this is, are those two birds even? Are they on the same line? And I'm happy to say that I did a running stitch all the way across there just to make sure that they were even, and they were. I was very happy about that because I was really nervous that I had missed a stitch somewhere in one of these leaves. You know, the border is just these leaves, and so if you get off by one stitch, everything's going to be off. And at the bottom, everything does sort of mirror each other, and it's kind of symmetrical down there. So you kind of need that border to match. Anyway, I was really glad that those birds lined up. I also added a lot of the words in there this time. So I will just pause here so you can read what I've got in so far. But the words, I really do enjoy stitching the words. That was a lot of fun. And I think this is the word that I have left on the other top half of the page. And then I'll have the words on the bottom, and then the two like sort of angel motifs in the center of the border there. But it's really coming along. I was really happy to get over 500 stitches in this piece. And you know, this was for my new start category for temperature stitching. And I think this is a great new start. Now, it took me months to get to this point, but it feels really good to start a project and have a lot of progress in it so that when I pick it up the next time, I'm already a decent way through it. And that was the goal for having that temperature stitch category of new starts, to keep working on it and not just have a small start. But this did meet its goal for the temperature stitching category. So this will not come out right away. However, I do really enjoy stitching on this one, and so I know when I need comfort stitching, this will come back out, so you'll see it again soon. But for now, it might go away for a little bit of time. So here's your last sort of look at Treasury of Compassion from Teresa Kogut. And I hope you enjoyed that. And the final piece for temperature stitching, which was the Witch Whip category, was Fruits of Plenty. This is from Modern Folk Embroidery. Here's what that is going to look like. And this only was called for one day, so only 100 stitches, but I will put a video in here where I was when I started the week.
All right, here's my starting point for the Fruits of Plenty. Getting pretty big here. I will be continuing in this section here. Likely, I'm going to bring down this green a little bit further, and I'm also probably going to work on this a little bit more to fill in some of these single stitches here that I'm not looking forward to. And yeah, you'll see how far I get this time.
And I did add 125 stitches, so I met the goal, but I didn't really go that far over. I'm now at 83.32% on this piece. And here is Fruits of Plenty. This is looking so good. I'm so happy with how this is turning out. So what did I work on this week? Maybe you will be able to see better than I can. I think I added some more of these individual sort of one-off stitches around here. Maybe I added a few more of the motifs in that section. I think I worked on the green a little bit more too, bringing this down. So I think that's where I was at. I don't think I did anything new over here. And maybe I brought some of this green down on the side. To be honest, I'm not really sure where I put those 100 stitches, but they are in there. Hopefully you can see what the difference was. But yeah, I think it was some of those single stitches in there. So that is the Fruits of Plenty. This has not met its temperature stitching goal, so it will still come out for that. And I'm super excited to keep working on this one. At 83%, we are less than 8,000 stitches to go. That feels like a doable finish in this sometime near future, in the next like month or two. So I'm excited for that. It'd be great to have this one finished. This is one I'm super proud of. This is a 32 count smoky white linen, and I'm using 2 DMC threads. I'm using 890 and 320, and I'm using 2 threads over 2 over 2. I always say that wrong. But that is Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. All right, and the final piece I worked on this week is one that you haven't seen in a while. I have not stitched on this in a long time. I don't remember the last time. Maybe for Mania, but definitely last spring I worked on it again here at my parents' house. But this was called for one of my WIPGO calls for February. So the first WIPGO call for the month was Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and that got its 500 stitches last week. The second WIPGO call that I'm doing the board with my Patreon members is Garden Surprise. Do you remember this one? Do you remember this cute little mouse in her watering can looking all spring? So yeah, this was the next WIPGO call. This was due for 500 stitches. I forgot to take a video, but I did take a picture, so I will put that up here of where I was when I started the week. And I'm actually happy to say that I put in 1,431 stitches in this piece. That's a lot of stitches. So you'll definitely see a change, an improvement. And here is where I'm at now. How cute is this? So what did I do for the 500 stitches, or actually 1,400 stitches, is I finished the watering can. So I had a little bit of the watering can left over here. That's now completed. I fully finished these 2 flowers, except for the back stitching. I added in all these green leaves here that will also need backstitched. And then I did the backstitching on the bucket, the flowering pot I mean, and this garden tool. So those 2 are fully backstitched and everything. Hopefully you can see that if I get in a little closer here. So everything from the top down, there's a little bit of backstitching that goes on this side of the watering can, and then the flowers and the leaves will need backstitching. And then I've got, the only thing left to do is the other little mouse that is peering her head around the corner there, and that one extra leaf that's back there. So that's all I have left on this piece. According to what's in markup, I think I have about 800 stitches left, which is not that much, and also means that this could be seeing a finish in the coming weeks, which I'm very, very excited for. I have a lot of fun with this project just because it reminds me of the 90s stitching that my mom and my aunt did with all this back stitching. I just think it's adorable and fun, and yeah, I just need some fun in my life. And what's more fun than a little mouse dressed up in a dress in her watering can? So this has been really fun. I'm using all the kit materials except for the Aida cloth. So hopefully this is showing up right, but it's a very pale green, sort of like a pale minty green Aida. It's an 18 count, and I swapped it out because I didn't really want to use the 14 count white Aida that it came with. So that's the only change I made. All the threads are from the kit, and yeah, that is Garden Surprise. So I think the next time I pick this up, I do want to do the back stitching on the flowers because I don't want to leave all the back stitching till the end. There's just so much of it, which is why I had to do these 2. I had to back stitch these 2 motifs already so that I didn't leave it all to the end. And then I of course want to work on the mouse. So I don't know if this will come out as like another focus piece this coming week, because I've just been really enjoying it, and I'm again eyeing the finish. That makes me want to continue on it. Or maybe this will go into the temperature stitching category after Pancakes, so that I'm sure that I can work on it little by little and eventually get to a finish. But one of the ways you will probably see this finished soon too. But that's Garden Surprise. That's a kit from Designs for the Needle. And that's all the stitching I've got this week. So I hope you enjoyed the update on those projects and enjoyed seeing what I was able to work on this week. Now let's talk a little bit about plans. What do I have upcoming for the week? And the first thing let's talk about is temperature stitching. Now, as I said before, Treasury of Compassion met its goal for the new stitch category, so that will be shifting out of that category, meaning it's time for a new start. And I sort of teased this a couple weeks ago, or last week, when I showed the Merejka kits, but the one I decided to put in as my new start is this one right here. This is Under the Oaks, and it's this beautiful picture of these deer coming out of the forest with the sunlight and those beautiful red leaves. That's the one I chose. So I will be putting this into the new start category. And I will try to do a little special video as I'm stitching this and kind of getting it ready. I'll open the kit with you guys and kind of show what's inside. I'll also download the app, which I'm super excited to try out, and then we'll get stitching on this piece. So next week, come back, you'll see the first couple stitches put into this project. I did want to clarify, so the QR code that's here on the front of the kit, that is just a code that takes you to the app to download. The code for the actual pattern is inside the kit, which I have not opened yet, so is not available until you actually open the kit, and then you get access to the digital pattern through their app. So just wanted to clarify that, and yeah, I'll keep you updated on what it's like using the app. I'm super excited to give it a try, and yeah, you'll see this worked on soon. So temperature stitching, let's put a picture of the new chart in here. And what was called was the new start category, which was under the oaks. That was called for 3 days, so that will get 300 stitches. Stack of pancakes was only called for 1 day, so that's 100 stitches. Now, like I said before, I only have about just over 200 stitches left. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stitch the rest of it, except for that tiny little circle syrup blob that I was talking about. And then I will finish that on next Tuesday morning. So even though it was only called for 1 day, 100 stitches, it will be finished by the next time you see it on next Tuesday. And the final category, which whip was Fruits of Plenty, that was also called for 3 days. So that will get an additional 300 stitches, which will be fun to put that in. Of course, SAGA will be coming back, and I'll be trying to get my weekly stitches in for that. And other than that, since my whip go goals are both now completed, I am happy to say 2 for 2. January and February whip go goals have been completed, which feels great. I feel like this is a good amount of stitching for me to still see progress, to still partake in whip go, but not have it take over my whole month like it was in the past. The only other plan I have is the other stitch that was called for through my Patreon. For the members, they chose what I should stitch on. That was Woodland Enchantress. So I still owe that just over 100 stitches, and I will probably try to get that done maybe this week yeah, we'll see. I'll try to get that done this week to meet that goal as well. And otherwise, I will just be stitching on what I want. I've got a number of projects that are inching close to a finish, Garden Surprise, Fruits of Plenty. It feels kind of nice. Even Treasury of Compassion is not too far away from that. So I'm just going to keep stitching on what I love and hope I get to some more finishes while I'm down here. And I think that's all I've got for you this week. So thank you so much for stopping by and spending a little bit of time with me. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I hope you're enjoying the Olympics. If you are doing the Olympic stitching, I hope you are really enjoying that as well. And if you are joining Whip into Shape, definitely share below what project you're going to be choosing and working on. I know a number of you commented you were going to be joining the challenge. I would love to know what you're going to be stitching on. And don't forget to check out the 2 walking videos that are up already, and we'll get up to speed. And then by this weekend, the 3rd walking video will be up there with that special little video footage at the very end. But just thank you all so much for the support. Honestly, filming these floss tubes have been bringing me so much joy. Filming the walks have been bringing me so much joy, especially over the weekend. We got to see some amazing sights, and just made me feel really grateful for where I am right now, even during this transition period of my life. And I just want to say thank you for that, and thank you for all the support of the new channel, and we'll see where it all goes from there. But yeah, I think that's all I've got for you. So keep searching for the joy. Keep running if you're a runner. Always keep stitching, and be kind to whoever you meet on your journey. Bye for now. Until the next stitch.